everybody. Meghan Angley here in Ball Arena. Welcome in for the Gorilla Sports post-game report. We just finished Detroit versus Avs. Avs win 5-2 over the Red Wings. And despite what that box score might say, Jared Bednar described this one as a little bit of a slugfest at times. Jonathan Drouin said a muckfest. There were periods of this game that felt just a little bit sleepy. Jared Bednar had few criticisms of the team's effort because, after all, it is a 5-2 win against a team battling for a wild card spot. In the end, I think he looked at some of their coverage on the rush as an area he'd like to see them improve, and energy, just a bit generally. I think there were periods of good energy in this game, and so there's still plenty of fun stuff to talk about here. Kicking it off, we've got 2-point game so far. This ended up being true for Joe. It's been really nice seeing how well the power play has been clicking outside of the new guys. What do you think has made it so effective so consistently? You know, the new guys do play a huge piece in this. I think it's been, Jared Bednar talked a little bit about it too, for forwards on that second unit, and a little bit of trust in what they're capable of. You have players like Lehkonen, who has played on that top power play unit, on the second unit, and so it's pretty lethal. Obviously, a guy like Devon Toews, top pair, playing alongside Makar at 5v5 for a reason. He is a valuable tool on that second unit. His slap shot gets that second unit a goal. Both units score tonight, and so I think they're just clicking in ways because there's a little continuity in what they're doing. Netchus and McKinnon have found a rhythm. Drouin back on that top unit, just such a good playmaker who complements what McKinnon does so well. Ross Colton has added a little bit of energy to that second unit. And I thought, this play too, I'm looking here, it was from Netchus to Devon Toews. Netchus has also been on that top unit, but it was a pretty clever move. He faked like he was going to take a shot from the top of the circle, and he utilized some of that deception and high IQ play that I think is what balances the wealth of talent that is distributed between both units. And so there can be a little bit of a rotation then between the top and the second unit, getting fresh guys on the ice to give them a better chance if the entries or establishing the zone just isn't coming so easily. And I think that's why we've seen now both units score on the road in Ottawa and again here against the Detroit Red Wings. Jared Bednar says he sees this as a huge strength of this team down the line. I can't help but agree. A power play that is converting at a pretty high clip and can be a threat with both the top and second unit is a pretty dangerous thing to have. Also worth noting, Detroit's penalty kill is perhaps not the best in the league, but this is now 2 games that I've seen it from both units, so I'm keeping an eye on how well constructed these guys are on the man advantage. All right, next one, to the guys coming off a scratch field, they lose some chemistry when coming back with their line mates. I thought this was an interesting question because we talked to Logan O'Connor this morning, and he used the word disappointing to talk about getting in and out of the lineup for guys like VC and Wood to draw in. And I can't help but feel like when he has played, there isn't missing chemistry, but what I see is a player and a line that impacts the game every time that they play together. So my brain is looking at it like, why would you ever want to break that up and mess up a good thing? But I think what we're seeing here is the depth is going to matter down the line no matter what. Jared Bednar talks about how injuries crop up. You just can't help it. I think he knows what he has in the Drury, OC, and Kelly line enough that he can take a couple nights off for those guys, have them sub out of a game, and get some guys who haven't been playing as regularly, like Miles Wood, who missed a lot of time earlier this season, and a Jimmy Vesey, who's new to the team. Important reps in regular season games while they have a little bit of a runway here in the regular season. In the playoffs, though, I'm fully expecting to see a lot more of that Kelly, OC, Drury line more consistently because I see a lot of similarities between that fourth line in the 2022 Cup run with Helm and Cogliano and what Kelly, OC, and Drury are doing together. I look at a game like tonight, it's described as a slugfest, but you've got a Logan O'Connor trying for shorthanded chances on the kill. That's just the type of player he is. He brings energy and he impacts the game by shifting momentum with the energy that he brings. I think that's what that whole line does. I don't think they've wavered from it even when they are reunited after a couple guys, changing in and out. And I think it's going to be another strength of this team in a deep playoff run. All right, why is Nelson's ice time so low? I thought this was an interesting question because Nelson's ice time was sort of on par with where Lehkonen's finished at the end of the night too, where you see the minutes really elevated and is for a player like Jonathan Drouin. And I think that his ice time, with special teams, being on the power play, getting in those reps, playing on that top line. It just made a difference at the end of the night. I think that Nelson and Lehkonen were going, and it was a pretty complete top six effort, but to me the biggest threat was that top line with Nichushkin, Drouin, and McKinnon, so that elevated their minutes, and then they kind of ran away with it with the power play, and so that's where a player like Necas kind of came out ahead from his own line. I think being on that top unit, he's just getting some more reps, and I think there were points in this game too that they just wanted a little bit of momentum, so they were leaning on that top line a little bit more. I'm not too worried about it because I thought it was an otherwise pretty good night from the second line. It was just overshadowed by such a great night from the top line. And those are all the questions that you guys have given me. So another game coming up here, LA Kings on Thursday. We'll be back with more coverage for you guys. Sounds like the team has the day off tomorrow, so I will see you guys back on Thursday. Bye!